Holy tangents.
Welcome back to another episode of the GTR podcast. I'm your host, Dave Payne. I'm with my co-host Alex over here. Um,
What's
we're
up,
back.
y'all?
We're back
So
with
I also lied. Well, no, I said hopefully it'll be the last one without on AirPod audio. I said hopefully, not it will be. So I didn't technically lie to anyone.
he lied to y'all. He lied to y'all. But
Fuck off. Nah, nah, nah,
we
nah, nah.
back. Last episode we talked about pretenders and contenders in the Eastern Conference. So I feel
Just
like
predicting it.
so I
And
guess it's the Western Conference today, right? That's how NBA go.
yeah, today we're doing the West. We got a list of I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 teams. I
Yeah,
couldn't tell if one of these teams was scratched out. So,
on your own list. All right. All
yeah,
right.
I can barely read my own handwriting. Dude, I told you, and I think I've said it on the pod, I'm doing all the sports writing for my school. I just had to take,
Clap it up for my boy Alex. Thank you,
hey,
thank you, thank
dude,
you.
oh, this is so much fun, dead ass. Like, it's not, because I've got to sit through so much shit,
Right.
but it's, it is fun. Um, But yeah, I've got a lot of notes for that and I can barely read it. Like I was in the middle of writing something up and I cannot, I could barely read my notes. Now, in fairness, I was writing a lot of it while I was watching. So I was like looking up and writing it.
He
But,
just say he got
uh,
terrible handwriting. That's all he trying to say for real,
well,
for
and I do. But yeah, and that just made it worse. Anyway, um, yeah, by the way, this is like A-level contender. Like they are going to make a run at the title and they have a very good chance at the title.
real.
So
Okay.
like we've got last year, I think we both said Raptors are pretenders.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's like not saying they won't be good, not saying they won't be a playoff team. We both just think
But
they're
they're not
a
making an
bit too
ECF
early.
run. They're not making an ECF run. That's worse.
Unless they get like a really easy first two rounds. No,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so we're gonna be going through some teams. If we say your team is not a contender, it is because we hate your team. It is because we know you like them and we want to ruin your day, and it is
The
100%
Lakers.
personal.
The Lakers. You feel
The
me?
Lakers aren't no. The Lakers aren't even on this list.
Oh, you gonna have some people, man. You're gonna have some people, man. Oh
Want to
well.
go over them real quick?
Oh well.
Fuck
Oh
it, let's go over
well.
them. Let's just go over them real quick. Let me just write down. We didn't go over the Knicks either, but I think we're both on the same page there, are we?
Yeah, we are pretenders. Pretenders as
They're
hell. Soft,
yeah, they're
weak,
not. They're not.
weak. Detroit better than them. Anyways.
Okay,
Anyways.
actually, that's not an awful take.
Oh,
Yes, it
no,
is, but
it's
still,
not. It's not.
um,
It's not.
I don't know. I'd have to put more thought into that. That's a better take than I expected. I thought it was like when I first listened to it, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, and then I'm
Kate
like,
is him.
oh yeah, Cade is him. Cade is the best player on both of those teams. He's gonna be after. Wait,
We love to see
okay,
that.
after
Nope, nope.
okay,
You
after
already said
next
it. You
season,
already said
we
it.
will see.
Shh. Shh.
Yeah, I can't go back on that. Oh,
Because I'm gonna have to drop
really,
this
just
draft
because
if you do.
RJ can just be really just because RJ cannot not can't, but I really don't think he's going to be able to be efficient if he has any sort of jump in usage. Because when he
Mm-hmm.
becomes high usage, we saw this last season, he shoots really inefficiently.
Right.
So I don't trust it. Although may I point out, they did they did fuck his 2K ratings. He's got a B in three and B plus inside, C plus mid range. I understand mid range to an extent, but calm down, bro. Calm down.
We're supposed to be talking about the Western Conference, and we talk about
We're,
2K. I
we're
love
talking
this
about the
pod.
Knicks and
I
2K.
love this pod, bro. I love it. I love it.
Anyway,
Anyways, bro.
shit. Let's go over the Lakers real quick, because of course there's a fucking I don't know what the apparently Russ and Pat Bev had their thing. We're like, yeah, we're cool now.
They not. They not. They not. That was fake. That
I
was fake as shit.
It's not even. They might be cool. Well, Russ, I believe Russ would be okay with it because he's trying to solve every single problem on that team, like behind the scenes and shit like that. Like he
Mm-hmm.
had that call with AD and LeBron, like that shit.
I'm about to say
But
something, and this could be
yeah,
hot.
go ahead.
This could be hot. Maybe.
Go ahead.
The more I think about the Lakers season, the more I think this Lakers season is more AD fault than Westbrook.
No,
I say
but
that I say that because AD cannot stay healthy. At this point, AD should be the best player on that Lakers team, and he's not.
well,
And
LeBron also just was like 200 games off of scoring. You can't say he was AD was supposed to be the best player on that team when LeBron just had the season he had. But I don't think that's an awful take.
we expected AD to AD got worse in every category, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
He became a
he
worse
became
shooter.
one of the most. He became the, I believe, like for a bit, he was the most inefficient mid-range shooter in the league.
Terrible 3-point shooter. His defense
Yeah, of
didn't
course.
fall off, didn't skyrocket off a cliff or anything, but we know he can be a top defender in the league. He was like top 10.
Yeah,
It fell. It fell. He was a top 5
you
defender
want him.
as a rim
You
protector and
want him
stuff
to
like
be
that.
better than that,
Yeah.
but now I think
Even his
now
scoring in the
I don't
paint
want
went
to
down.
say I don't want to say it's Russ's fault. Like, well, I feel like his scoring in the paint went down because he was scared of contact because he didn't want to get injured again. Not scared of contact, but he was trying to avoid it
Okay. Whatever. LeBron is
for
38 and
injuries.
he's still, you know,
Yeah.
in the
But let me
paint.
just point out,
But whatever.
of course, yeah, I do think a lot of it is Russ's fault, but it's not necessarily his fault that he's in the situation because who the fuck? You can't have LeBron is a good shooter. He well not good, but like he's shooting improved. But you can't.
Server 37% type beat. Yeah.
Yeah,
37%.
his shooting improved a lot. But you can't have that with AD and especially with how bad AD shooting got
No.
and Russ.
I know what you're about to say, and you can because AD was supposed to be a good shooter, but AD went like like so bad.
Everyone's 3-point shooting went down since the bubble, though.
Hmm?
Everyone's 3-point shooting went down since the bubble.
I know that, but at this point, AD shooting a 3-pointer is like Matisse Thybulle shooting a 3-pointer. We don't know if that's going in.
I actually think they had the same efficiency from three. Of course,
No way. No way. Actually, let's fact check
Matisse,
that.
I believe, last season Matisse was probably around 30%. AD on significantly less volume could have been higher. I don't know, but not even that. It's also just like you can't have that. Russ has to be the main ball handler on the team he's on. That's just kind of how he works.
Right.
I'm not saying like that's a good thing and it's the Lakers. Like, I'm not saying that that part's not his fault, but I think that adding that to two very ball dominant guys already is a complete mistake.
You want to
And
know
then
what
you
he
don't have
averaged?
who? Which guy are you talking
AD.
about?
AD from 3
AD from three
at the age of 28 this season.
last season. Yeah,
Yeah, the most recent season, yes.
yeah,
He shot a whopping 18% from 3
yeah.
on 2
On
attempts.
how many attempts? On
On
two
2,
attempts a game?
yes.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Let's see Matisse
That's
Thybulle.
literally worse than Matisse Thybulle.
If it's worse than
It
then
was. That's one
it
hundred.
is. It is.
Matisse Thybulle's a career 31%.
It's and this is why I say AD is partially to blame for this because he's supposed to be better than 18% from 3. If we're
Yeah,
being he I just he got to take some blame, and we can't just be like. I now know people would be like, yeah, he got to take some blame, but he's hurt. But at this point, like he needs to like take care of your body better. Like do
Yeah,
something so you
because
can't be
at
able
a
to get hurt
point,
all the time, bro. At a point, you got to
yeah,
be responsible. We can't just keep saying, "Oh, he was hurt, so it really
yeah,
didn't count this season and
because
stuff like
even
that."
when he was playing, he wasn't that good, and he was inefficient as hell. And
And Russ
the
didn't make it
problem
better,
is
of
with
course, but you know,
Russ definitely made it worse. And then you don't, really the fact that they did get Pat Bev, which I think, of course, was a really good move. I thought it hurt them like hell, even worse. Because I thought this coming season was just going to be a throwaway, and then they get Pat Bev. I'm like, oh shit, they might be doing something. But they use their mid level on Lonnie Walker, who cannot space the floor either. I'm like,
who's
bro,
going to be their shooter? But are we thinking AD could go back
Pat
to like
Pat
35%?
Bev.
Pat
Well,
Beverly is the best shooter on the team.
other than LeBron, but
Percentage wise, Pat Beverly is the best shooter on the team.
percentage wise, yes, he's the best. Pat Bev is the best floor spacer on
Yes,
that team by a lot.
right, by a lot.
That's not something you want.
Exactly. And that's
So I'm
38%.
thinking
So
another. I'm thinking they get play in this year,
so
but
pretenders then.
oh, they were never in the conversation to be a contender.
You know what sucks?
And
I'm
I
gonna
once
say
again,
contender.
I love Russ
But
more than anyone. I love Russ. We've been over this, but there's no way they. I don't think they get more than 40 wins. There's absolutely no way, and that's being very generous.
out of all the slander I just said, they're
Yeah,
contenders just because of LeBron. Um if LeBron plays like LeBron plays, I
LeBron just
expect
played how
them
LeBron played last year.
right, and I expect him to have a down season in scoring and shit like that. But his down season is people's. I wish I had that type of season type beat. If AD can play over 50 games and LeBron can play like one step below he did this season, they're going to be a play-in team or a playoff team, and that's all you.
I think they're play. I think they max out a play-in
But that's
because I
all
don't
you
think they're
need
going
when
to be a
you're
six
LeBron,
seed.
though. That's all you need with LeBron is
Yeah,
that, and that's how good LeBron is. You just need a
they're
shot.
just not a contender. They're just not a contender.
Mm.
I just don't see it because LeBron does need some help, and with how injury prone AD is, Russ just fits terribly on that team. You got Pat Bev, but that's floor spacing and defense. That's not like help.
But LeBron does need ask for that though for space in the defense. So
Yeah, I
I
just don't see it.
let me say this:
I don't see how. Yeah,
if
go
they
ahead.
make the play in, they're contenders for me because I'm not counting LeBron off of any game.
No, no, no. I agree. Well, if they get through the plan,
Right? If they make it through the play in, they're contenders because I can't count LeBron out in the 78 series. But
but
if they don't, they're pretenders. So you know,
yeah, I think that's without question.
it
Anyway,
basically depends on LeBron.
yeah, we good?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think it depends on LeBron. I think it depends on everyone else because we know what we're getting from LeBron at this point.
I say it depends on LeBron is because he's going to be the needle mover of we're going to make a deep run or we're not because we know LeBron's going to give it all, but like LeBron is the overwhelming like superstar that like I'm gonna put
Yeah.
you all over the
Okay,
top
I
type
think I
player.
know what you mean.
Yeah,
I think I know what you mean.
we have the
Anyway,
same idea.
Jesus, it's been a while, and we still haven't talked about any of the teams on the original list.
All right, let's shoot through this. Let's
let's
shoot through this. Come on.
let's go to the Clippers, who I don't remember if we've talked about.
We didn't.
Um,
We
I
didn't do
think
any Western
we
Conference
both.
teams.
Well, no. Well, I believe we've talked about just in past pods in general.
Oh yeah.
But let's Clippers contenders for me. Easy.
Contenders for me too. Do we have
They
the same
got
idea of why? I'm
yeah,
pretty sure. Go
like
ahead.
you got two of the best two-way wings in the league potentially of all time. Um, you got good. I don't know if they run Norman Powell off the bench, but if not, like he's just a bucket.
Start Norman
Um,
Paul. But anyways, keep going.
yeah. You got John Wall, which I think is a good sign. He's not going to be the John Wall of old, of course, but they needed a good connector, a good glue guy. And no, he's not going to be able to space the floor too well, but he's going to be able to play make for Paul George and Kawhi.
He's going to give rim pressure and playmaking, which they didn't have. So
Exactly,
a
yeah.
true playmaker, like a true playmaker.
Exactly.
And who's not washed.
And Reggie Jackson tried, and I appreciate
He's a dynamic
appreciated what
scorer, though.
he did, but he's more score first than
Playmaking.
I think. He's a better, yeah, exactly. And then Ivica Zubac is, I like him. I like him. Just good. Just a solid center.
I love their
Doesn't
coaching
really.
too.
Oh yeah, they got good. That's Tyronn Lue, right? That's their coach, right? Yeah, he could go coach of the year.
He definitely could go coach of the year. He definitely could.
Yeah,
Because if I'm the Clippers, the only thing that's stopping me from being contenders is injuries. And like I know injuries can stop every team, but this team very like
but this
heavily
team is
because
very injury
Kawhi,
prone.
and John
Kawhi,
Wall.
Paul George, John Wall. You
And that's
got, and then now Norman Powell was barely injured last year, like he
yeah,
was, but not. He doesn't really have that many past injury issues.
if your stars
And then
go down,
Robert
you're good.
Covington off the bench. I'm glad he's. I think he'll rebound a bit because the past couple seasons he's just not really
Good.
been involved in anything.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're both on the same page there.
What makes them contenders obviously is the star power, the coaching, and the versatility they can play. They can go small and
Yeah.
kill you, and then they can just run Zubac just to grab rebounds and play big a little bit. So the
Yeah.
versatility, star player, and coaching that will kill you in a 7-game
Mm-hmm.
series.
Yeah. We good to move on?
Yep.
Well, next on this list, I have Golden State, the reigning NBA champions.
Go ahead,
Golden
Chief.
State.
Go ahead,
I
Chief.
I feel the same about in my head, I have the same feeling going in as I did about them last season, where I think they'll be good, but they won't win the finals. But that's how I thought about them last year, and that didn't age well. So I'm gonna put them contender again.
I put them contender. This is obvious. Steph is Steph. Their bench players like Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah. Jordan
I
Poole's only gonna get better. Kuminga's only gonna get better. Klay Thompson
bounce back.
can only get better. James Wiseman, we'll see how that goes.
I'm gonna say James Wiseman
I'm not
must
a
be
believer
trash.
in
I ain't
him.
gonna lie to you. He must be trash because I don't think he's been injured
Oh,
this long.
I think it's possible, but also when you're in a playoff run, you don't want to play. When you're in the midst of a really good playoff run, you don't really want to risk playing someone who's not played that many NBA minutes.
Isaiah Stewart is better than Jonathan Kuminga.
Kuminga or Wiseman?
Sorry, Wiseman. I'm tripping. Whoa, Jonathan.
Well, because I'd agree with both, but they're different positions. But yeah, I do agree with James Wiseman at this moment. Now we haven't seen that much of James Wiseman, but
He's just he's overrated for his things he can bring on the court. I don't think he's that good.
There's a reason why he went second overall. That's my thing. But
potential doesn't mean you didn't do shit. Anyways,
yeah, but yeah, I think he could do something, but I don't know if we'll see. We'll see what we get from him. And even then, if you don't have him, you do have Kavan Abdul-Jabbar, who just
grabs every
who just
rebound.
re-signed.
Grabs every rebound.
Who just gets every
that's the scariest
rebound.
part. That's the scariest part about the Warriors. Like if Wiseman can be better than Kevin Looney, bro, they're going to be like NBA champs. Because
it's done for.
No,
it's done.
Like no disrespect to Kevin Looney, but like he's not very skilled. But he's very knowledgeable.
He's not skilled.
He's knowledgeable of what he has to
do. He's good
at
positioning himself. Yeah, he knows his role, and he's good at, and he's a really good rebounder.
Exactly. If Wiseman can be like skilled and know his role,
Now, I think their defense might go down a bit now that Gary Payton is not on the team, and Otto Porter also not on the team. So they've lost some wing depth, but really, I think they'll be fine. Golden State, they're Golden State. They'll figure it out.
So it's reasons why they're contenders. Go ahead.
Uh, I just they're
Like
Golden
just sum
State.
it
They
up.
got
Just
the
sum it up real quick.
best shooter of all time.
Okay.
You got young guys are only gonna get better. Um, you got more center depth with Wiseman healthy. Now, do we think he'll? I think we're both like, probably not going to be that good, but it doesn't hurt to have that depth, especially in the regular season. Clay bounce back here, can't get to, not saying it can't get, not like he played bad, but he's better than that, and I think he'll show it. And yeah, that's it, really.
Honestly,
And let me just emphasize again, Steph fucking Curry. Even if he's like the same as he was at the end of the regular season last year, he turns it on in the playoffs. It doesn't matter that much.
the only thing I can see of them losing and not being an NBA champion, depending on what team comes out the East,
Mm-hmm.
and or if they have to face the Clippers in a
Yeah, I think the
seven-game
Clippers are
series.
the worst possible matchup for them.
Yes, because I love Steph. Like Steph is will Steph be the best offensive player on the floor? Yes. But Kawhi is the best two-way player on the floor. So it
And then the
balances out
next
as the
best two-way player on the floor is Paul George.
and I
And the only guy they have who can, I mean, you could have Draymond on Kawhi and Wiggins on.
Kawhi's baking Draymond. Respectfully, he's baking Draymond.
He's too quick. Yes, he's coming off an ACL,
Yeah. He's baking Draymond.
which is going to hurt. But I think we saw Jaylen Brown in the finals not kind of do well. He did well against Draymond in the wins
Last time we
and in
seen
general.
last time we seen Kawhi Leonard, he was averaging 30 on 60% field goal percent shooting.
He's
He's
insane.
baking Draymond respectfully.
And also, he's one of the best playoff performers there are. Now, not like the highest sample size because he does get injured a decent, but actually, he's got a decent enough sample size.
a good track record.
Fuck that. Yeah, he's got a really good track record in the playoffs. So
But yeah, because it goes if we're going like tiers, and I usually do this. I did this in the last pod we did when we talked about teams and ranking. If you have the best player and then your two second best players, like Warriors have the best player, Steph Curry, but the player behind them is Kawhi, and then the player behind Kawhi, it's Paul George. Those two can counteract what Steph does.
Can absolutely negate that. Yeah,
exactly.
And so it's not like they have, and they've got a good. Now, we saw what happened with Boston with being switchable, but with like, oh, we can just switch on every play. Not quite with Al Horford on Steph. That was just a terrible idea. Not idea, but that was just an awful matchup. And Al Horford's really bad drop coverage. But not drop coverage, but he has to drop.
He has
because he's
not quick enough to stay. If he plays up, he's getting burned. But
exactly.
Just matchup wise, the Clippers would be the worst situation. That's the only reason why I don't see them winning the championship. Yeah. Next team.
Denver. We got Denver. Go ahead.
Ooh. We know what Jokic is, two-time MVP. My boy Jokic gets Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back. Contenders. For me.
Yeah, they added KCP. They added Bruce Brown.
Oh, hey, keep going. Keep going.
That's really all they.
He was supposed to spit.
Find them.
You good?
I have my phone. You good? Denver Nuggets. They added KCP, Bruce Brown, and that's like their only meaningful additions in my opinion. But
for the
Nuggets, you got to get the guys back from injury.
Yo.
Which is very important. And even if Michael Porter Jr. isn't that good, because I think that's a very real possibility that he's not really that good.
Okay.
It won't matter as much
It
because they got
will.
a much better. They got role players who fit better around Jokic,
No.
and you got Jamal Murray back.
Yep. And then I think we underestimated. Like I've seen people underestimate Jokic MVP seasons. Um, just to put it in perspective, Jokic MVP seasons are
Disrespected
actually
as
really, really
fuck.
good because when Jokic is not on the floor, that Denver Nuggets team is damn near unwatchable, and that's coming from a
They
Pistons
are
fan.
unwatchable.
It's coming from a Pistons fan.
you
Yeah, I know
had
what
to, you had to
unwatchable
deal
is.
with you had to deal with
I dealt with Stanley
uh
Johnson 1 year. Anyways,
the post Blake year.
don't. Anyways, but Jokic does so much for other people and for himself that he's going to be in the league. He can space the floor, good rebounder, underrated defender at this point of the career of what he is, his trajectory, and just does everything on offense. Jamal Murray is going to take the scoring. We know what Jamal Murray is. The last time we see Jamal
Yeah,
Murray, he was a bucket. He was giving buckets out to elite defenders, good defenders. Jamal and like you said, Michael Porter Jr. At bare minimum, if he comes back and
is a good catch and shoot
is a
guy.
good catch and shoot guy, he can take a 1 step dribble. That's all you need around Jokic.
Yeah.
You already got the defense added with KCP. Aaron Gordon's a good defender. Bruce Brown's a good defender. There you go. It's about
Yeah.
it's about what for me it's about what Michael Porter Jr. can be.
hmm And I think that if he can be the fringe all star that he was the season before he signed the extension, then it's I think they're my second favorite team to come out of the West to the Clippers.
If
Um,
he's Chris Middleton, they win. I'm gonna just say that.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's over. It's over. But
Yeah.
that also would involve him being a good two-way player, which I
I'm just
don't believe in. I personally don't believe in it. That's all.
I don't believe it either because of the defense is a thing. Like offensively, if he's becomes Chris Middleton, efficient, like efficiency wise, because Chris Middleton is very efficient, they have a good to great shot at winning.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Next thing,
That's why they're contenders for me. Yep. Now we go on to the Phoenix Suns. They're a hard team to predict because I feel like there's a lot of like. So I feel like I'm talking a lot here, but I've got like a lot of
you good?
takes. Um, for Phoenix, I feel like there's a lot of overreaction to the 40-point loss. Well, it ended up being 33, but they were down by fucking 45 at points for most of the game actually. But so a lot of overreaction has been done on that because realistically, they went to game 7 in round 2, which isn't bad,
It's not ideal when you had the
but it's
lead you
not.
had in the
Chris
series.
Chris Paul's getting older.
Okay,
Devin Booker is a defensive liability.
okay, I like what you're talking.
They don't want DeAndre Ayton.
Yes, sir.
They didn't want to keep him really. That situation was just really annoying to me. um I think this is their last season and they have to blow it up. Even if they do better than they did last season, like they end up getting to the conference finals, Chris Paul is only getting older. So you gotta not blow it up, but trade Chris Paul, trade DeAndre Ayton. I think you have to at the end of this season if you don't win a chip, because you don't want a 40-year-old Chris Paul really
Ah,
being the primary ball handler on the team.
hmm.
So either,
I
and I
can
think the best way.
counter-react that, but go ahead.
I know you love Chris Paul, but my thing is, I think to ease their way into it, take some touches away from Chris Paul. As good as he is, you got to prepare. You got to prepare for a team without him. Not saying make him a completely off ball guy, But you want to have Devin Booker get used to running the offense a bit more. And same with DeAndre Ayton. I realized
You
I
said
said
a
like
lot.
1,500 things. I said a lot. I
And it's
realized
okay
that.
because we go. That's what I'm here for. I disagree wholeheartedly with your Chris Paul take. Like I wholeheartedly, just for the only reason why is we praise LeBron for doing what LeBron is doing. Granted, he's not like Chris Paul's not doing what LeBron is doing. But last time I checked, Chris Paul was averaging 15 and 10 and still being a solid defender at the age of
Yeah.
what they're the same age and he's playing a more like taxing position as in LeBron isn't because handling the ball, being able you have to run the whole offense. You have to run the offense and you have to
Yeah,
be in a pick
LeBron
and
is
roll
more
type.
athleticism based. Like LeBron still relies more on athleticism than Chris Paul does, which
And let's
isn't
not
saying
act
that
like
much.
Chris Paul's like if you say he's gonna get down and play, of course he is, but his intangibles, his mid range, the way he gets to the
Yeah.
mid range elbow is still gonna be there. You still won't be able to guard it. The way he can manipulate the pick and roll from a pass to a lob, like from a
Mm-hmm.
shot to a lob is still going to be there. The only
Yeah.
thing I see different from them being real contenders versus like an okay contender is um Devin Booker needs to take strides on defense. So Chris Paul doesn't get hunted out by the Lucas of the world. Um
Because if
or
they run
stuff like
into the
that.
Mavs again, I think if they run into the Mavs again, it's only going to be worse.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Because Christian Wood is going to give Aiden problems,
Yeah.
respectfully. Mikal Bridges, I need him to be more of. I agree with you what you said about Chris Paul taking like a lesser role, but I don't think he
Mm-hmm.
still needs the ball in his hands to be the lead playmaker because
Of course.
I
Yeah.
need him to get everybody involved. I feel like Devin Booker
Yeah.
can only get his pick and roll partner involved and not everybody
And
else.
that's
And that's the
and
problem.
that's part of and that's a big problem they have because I don't think they're going to win a chip
I
with
don't either.
Chris Paul as the main guy. As good as he is, he's not in his prime anymore.
He's not, but
15 and 10 is good.
15-10 is
It's
elite
quite
for
good. And
37, 38.
for that age, it's the fact that you had to add that, which of course it's still elite, but it's not gonna win you.
If I,
It's not.
I don't say for that age because if
You
young,
didn't have to add that in.
I didn't have to.
You
Yeah,
didn't have
you're
to
right.
add that
You're
in.
right. You're right. You're right.
But I don't. So if you're not gonna win a chip with him as your primary ball handler, you gotta find a way to. That's what I'm saying. Take touches away so Devin Booker can learn to not only use his pick and roll partner. He's a really good mid. He's got all the tools. That's it. Other than defense, of course, he's got all the tools.
You know
He's
what?
got a great mid-range game. And I'm someone who's been like
He's an offensive
historically.
bucket.
He's a complete, but he's excellent in the isolation. Great mid-range game, knockdown shooter, good finisher around the rim. He just needs to improve some of his decision making now. And I've also historically been a bit of a Devin Booker. I don't want to say hater, but not. I haven't been on as high as on him as a lot of people have. So
I'm gonna say this: Devin Booker needs to take the top 10 jump because he's not top
yes,
10. If he
without
takes that top
question.
10 jump and we don't think about it, because
And
Devin
I
Booker has
love
always
how
been on that Tatum type beat where he could be top 10. Tatum is top 10. Devin Booker,
yeah,
he's looking in the top 10. And I need
yeah,
for them to make a deep run for Devin Booker to be in the top 10 players we talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. So, and I also want Aiton to have more freedom than just being a role man.
Talk about it. Talk about
But
it.
I also don't think he's that good. I think
He's
he's
a he's
good.
a he's a solid post player. He's a solid post player.
Yeah,
Nothing
he's
crazy.
solid, but he's not like yeah.
He's
But
nothing
I
crazy.
want him to. But part of like getting Chris Paul not having as many touches is Also, as much as it would be for Devin Booker, it also would be for DeAndre Ayton.
I want to see Mikal Bridges be the actual third option in this offense.
Actual third?
Yes.
What would the order be?
The order right now is
Order
Book,
if he
Paul, and
becomes
Aiden.
the
Paul will fall
Book
out.
Paul. Chris Paul is the fourth option.
Yes.
I
He
don't think
literally.
he's a good enough off-ball player for that. Maybe in a couple of years, but
I'm not.
not.
Mm,
You still want to utilize him a little bit
You will.
while you have him.
You will, but I need to see strides, and for them to be
I do agree.
contenders, I
Maybe
need to
like
see strides in Mikal Bridges.
maybe like when it's Chris Paul not on the floor, but Mikal and Booker on.
Right.
We saw a little bit of that last season, and he was okay.
It was okay.
His lack of a mid-range shot really hurt him.
And his mid range is not that bad for real.
But it's just off the dribble. It's
off the dribble was a different story.
No, of course he's a 3-and-D guy.
Right.
At heart. But you still want to have if he could add that, fuck it. It helps.
It helps a lot.
It helps them become a contender in the future.
Because it helps them a lot. Like I feel like I'll help them a lot right now because at the end of the games, Chris Paul is going to be the last decision maker. He's going to be the decision maker. Everything flows to Chris Paul. But for him to be like, okay, I'm getting boxed, right? Let's say they switch on to they put Pat Beverly on Chris Paul. Let's say that. Now Westbrook is on Mikal Bridges. I need Mikal Bridges to eat that matchup a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, as in like being that third.
Yeah. Okay, that's what he needs to be able to take advantage of a mismatch.
Yes.
Which
effectively.
Yes. Yeah.
But they're still contenders to you though.
I think they're in that in between. I have them in the same way. I think as much as I do believe that the Heat are better, I think I've got them in a similar spot where they're I don't think they've made the improvements necessary. Now, I don't have them as contenders. Just because I can't have 6 contenders in a fucking conference.
You can.
I don't want to. I want to limit it to 4. In this case, I believe 1, 4. I'm gonna have 5 teams.
Let me guess. The Grizzlies,
which is too many for my liking.
The Grizzlies is your last contender team.
We'll see.
It is.
Actually, well, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now, I got 2 more.
Okay.
Next, we move on to. I'm just gonna say one of them, the Dallas Mavericks.
Go ahead, because. Okay, go ahead.
You don't believe it?
No, not at all.
Cool. I feel like also Christian Wood was on your team and he was kind of shit.
Doesn't matter. I don't believe in it. I'll tell you why, but go ahead. You go first.
I think they could still end up being one guy away. But I think Dinwiddie could bounce back. Could. Not take the Jalen Brunson role, but he operate not as bad. He was actually all right.
He was.
Once he went to Dallas, he was actually all right. Not as good as Jalen Brunson, no shit, but not bad. Luka's Luka, and he looks good. He physically, he looks good. Christian Wood is honestly, in my opinion, the ideal pairing for him. He's a good role man and he can spot up. That's kind of exactly what you. On the defensive end, we don't talk about it, but they also had their best defender was Dorian Finney-Smith, and then no one else was close last season.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm about to. Okay. Go ahead.
Last season, their best defender was Dorian Finney-Smith. He's a good defender, but if he's your best defender, you should not have the seventh best defense in the league. So I trust their coaching. I really trust their coaching.
I like Jason Kidd as a defensive coach. So
Yeah, he was able to get the team he had to the seventh best defense, which is fucking ridiculous. And yes, you don't have Luka's secondary ball handler like in Jalen Brunson, but Dinwiddie will be able to do maybe 60% of what he did, and then you just got pretty much a better Maxi Kleber.
okay.
Just significant a guy who's going to be significantly better at Maxi Kleber at that role.
Okay.
So, like, imagine if Maxi Kleber could shoot and actually be a good role man. I think
they don't win NBA Finals. They don't even go to the NBA Finals. Draymond still exploits that matchup heavily. Like they don't go. Draymond still exploits the matchup heavily on the defensive end, like heavily.
What matchup? Wait, which matchup would he? He would have Christian.
He's
Also,
going
apparently, they do have JaVale McGee now, who isn't a great defender, but he's a great rebounder.
He's a big body. The reason why I don't have the Mavericks as contenders. Luka has to do everything, and like realistically, he'll have to do everything. We said that for a couple of years, but now he doesn't have Jalen Brunson. Spencer Dinwiddie is not doing what Jalen Brunson is doing on any tier
No,
level,
he's not.
like
No.
anything close. Jalen Brunson was 18-8 when Luka wasn't playing. No, an efficient 18-8, not no 18-8 on terrible shooting. He was an efficient 18-8.
Yeah.
You bring up Christian Wood. Christian Wood could be good because he is the dynamic big man, as he can pop and he can dunk the ball. Defense is still a problem. Still a problem. JaVale McGee is going to be the best like big man defender. I don't feel like they have enough defense, and you kind of disrespected Dorian Finney-Smith the way you said his defense was, because he's a good switchable
No,
defender.
I agree. I
Like
think he's a really good defender.
Really good.
But if he's the best defender on your team, to have that as the seventh best defense in the league is
It's
and
crazy.
also the fact that no one's really that close to Dorian Finney-Smith
On the
on that
team,
team last year. Yeah, last year and this year. Fuck it.
debatable because Bullock was a good defender. Bullock was a good defender. He was a
But
good
he wasn't
defender.
that close. He would, but it was. There's a pretty substantial difference. Reggie Bullock is your second best defender,
He
and
was a good
Dorian
defender.
Finney-Smith is your best defender.
He was a good
I
defender.
agree, but the fact that was the seventh best defense is fucked to me.
I understand that, but like, there was a seven best defense, and we've seen what that seven best defense did against the fucking Warriors. And I can say, well, you did against the Warriors, and we can see what it did against the Suns. And if somebody say, well, the Suns lost that series,
I
of
do
course
think
they did.
I do think they run into the Warriors, they lose again. So
If
that's
they run
fair.
into the Suns this season, they lose again because
They lose
they lose again. They don't have Brunson. Brunson did so much, like
in that
extremely a
Sun series.
lot, extremely a lot. He made it so Spencer Dinwiddie didn't have to be a second decision maker. And people say, yeah, the Suns choked it. Like, yeah, they choked it. If the Suns doesn't collapse in game 5 or game 6, they don't have a blowout loss in game 7. Luka
No,
was playing on his mind, but Luka
I think
still.
it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be close, but I still believe that, if that series gets played again this
Give me
year,
Phoenix. Give me Phoenix. You taking Dallas?
give me Mavs in 6 or 7.
Give me Phoenix in 5.
Wow, that's confidence. Okay,
because Brunson was doing so much that it's going to get overshadowed because Luka was on a different level. Luka was very good.
Luka also in the game where he shot 1 for 11 from 3.
Exactly.
Jalen Brunson did carry there.
Carried the fuck out of him. Spencer Dinwiddie carried for one game.
I still trust that Luka's going to be able to be that guy.
Yeah,
I do believe it. And I think he'll be able to get and I think he'll be able to get Christian Wood to like 20 to 22 points a game.
He will because of how much attention he draws, but like Lucas still is a cone on defense. Brunson wasn't that
Cone
bad.
on defense. He just like
Cone.
not raw.
Cone. Brunson was not bad on defense. You replace him with Spencer Dinwiddie. Cone. Cone. Cone.
You did not just
Cone.
Jalen
Like
Brunson
parking
is
code,
not
bro.
a good defender at all.
You saw what?
Jalen Brunson is
He's a
not
better
a good
defender than Luka and Spencer Dinwiddie.
Luka, yes.
Dinwiddie, yes. If you have to think about it, then I question your judgment on how good you put Jalen Brunson. How good you think Jalen Brunson is?
Put it. Who would I rather put on a It's just the size that I would rather put not Brunson. Dinwiddie.
Brunson,
Dinwiddie
because
would
he's
be
6'6".
better on a. Yeah, I'd rather put him on like. I was about to say Andrew Wiggins. That sounds like an awful idea.
Terrible idea.
Mikal Bridges or some shit like that. I don't know.
But Mavericks, I feel like and also the last thing I'm gonna say about Mavericks, and we can move on to the other team. But Mavericks, like top 7 defense, that's all cute and all. Until like the next season rolls around and people know what you fucking did. Like teams will know what you did.
They could very well drop off a fucking
cliff. Like a cliff. They will. They will. You have. And I don't know where this fictional world became where people like Mavericks fans, and no disrespect to Mavericks fans, because y'all pretty cool. Y'all made somehow Christian Wood a serviceable, like a good defender. He's not a good defender, bro.
No.
Just because he blocks a shot doesn't mean he's a good
when
defender.
When he puts in effort, he can be
serviceable.
Okay. He can be okay.
Serviceable at best.
Yeah.
But he's not no Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian
Finney-Smith is still your best defender. Yeah, no shit.
So I don't know where this. Well, we got Christian Wood. He can protect the rim. He's an athlete.
No, he can't.
Okay.
That's a terrible take.
Okay. Get Aiden on his ass. Get Aiden on his ass.
No,
Phoenix,
it's over.
get
And
Aiden
it's over.
On his ass. AD on his
then
ass.
Also, I think they would
on
put
his ass. Go ahead. Put JaVale McGee on him. Put JaVale McGee on him. Go ahead. Do some dumb shit like that.
I would lean toward that. Yes, he'd get in foul trouble, but he would also slow him down enough. AD, no one on most teams is stopping AD. Who's the other guy you said?
Valanciunas is fucking both of them up.
Oh, yeah. That's without a question.
Jaren Jackson is eating from perimeter on both of them.
Jaren Jackson is fouling out because after 15 minutes because Luka's just toying with him.
That's why you got Dillon Brooks. I'm not wrong. Dillon Brooks guarding that. Dillon Brooks is not a bad defender. I know. Don't do that.
Well, you mismatch Hunt. I know Dillon Brooks is
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
You mismatch it. That's why I say that. I say
pretenders.
There's so much time on them. Actually, you kind of swayed me to not quite. You swayed me.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
That defense is going to be a problem.
That defense is going to suck ass. Very likely it falls off a cliff.
Yes.
It could end up being like average. Falls off a cliff, meaning like it ends up average. Next we move on to the Pelicans, who I believe we've talked about in the past, but go ahead. You start here.
Pelicans, for me, reasons why they will be contender. I don't think they're going to be a contender just because they don't have any experience, as in like deep runs, and they're getting their best player acclimated back into an 82 game regular season in the playoffs, stuff like that. That's a big reason why I don't see it. But their pieces is amazing. Like give them 2 years, contenders easily. CJ McCollum, great pickup next to BI. Great pickup. I would like to see CJ McCollum be still the 2 guard though. Because like he's when he played at the point guard position, NBI was at the 2. They had Herb Jones at the 3. That was an amazing lineup. It was fun to watch. Good switchable defense. I I'm gonna just be biased. I want to see Dyson Daniels run that point guard position and lock up a lot of people who like lock up some
That'll be
people,
fun. I think that will be fun.
and he'll be a. I feel like people are downplaying Dyson Daniels 3-point shot because he'll be a solid defender. But anyways, if we're not taking
Yeah.
Dyson Daniels into the lineup, CJ as your point guard is going to be good, offensive juggernaut, as in he can put the ball in the basket, can
Hmm.
make good decisions in the pick and roll.
Yeah.
Bi is becoming severely underrated at his position and what he
Yeah,
does on the court.
absolutely. He has.
Severely.
Also, personally, I just put Bi at 3 and Herb Jones at 2. You can swap it. I think 2K has a fucking. I hate 2K for a lot of reasons for how they list positions,
Me
but
too.
let's be real. Bi's the 3 and Herb Jones is the 2. I'm sorry.
But Bi is
um,
a
but
offensive
still, yeah,
weapon.
yeah.
Offensive weapon.
Bi, you got Herb Jones, who's if he can take some strides in his 3-point shot to maybe up to 35%, it's over.
It's
It's
over. It's
over.
over. Mikal Bridges
Um,
2.0. Uh,
essentially, but yeah,
yeah.
essentially.
Zion is
And then you got
Zion.
Zion, who's fucking
28,
Zion.
28,
He's on
28,
60%.
60, 28, and dogging. I just need him to become a better defender. And he has all the tools to become a
Hmm.
better defender.
And then you got Jonas Valanciunas,
Who
who's
can
also a
stretch the
good scorer.
floor. He can stretch the floor for
Stretch the
Zion.
floor a bit, and he's just a good scorer and a
Good
good
score.
rebounder.
Yeah.
With
They
I think
have
they're no. Go ahead.
they have everything to be a good playoff team next year because again, it's that Zion
Okay.
Williamson that you have to let him play. Let him play. Get all the rust off of Zion. And the next season, let's dog everybody in the West.
Okay. I have them as a. I'm. I think they'll be contender.
That's fair.
I I do genuinely believe it. This is one that I don't think you're going to be able to sway me as much on because you have 82 games for Zion to get acclimated. Surely at some point he will. Um, and it's not like he hasn't dealt like had like been like coming back from injuries in the past. Now, of course, he hasn't sat for that long, but I think he absolutely. I don't think it'll be as difficult for him. I don't think it'll take a full season for him to get reacclimated. Yes, Larry Nance is a better defender than Zion, but they had a league average defense last year. Sorry, one higher defensive rating
Right.
over
So basically league
so league
average.
average. Let's be real. Um, league average defense, and you've got some of the best scorers in the league. And then if he's shown flashes of decent passing, and because of how much rim pressure he adds, I think you add a little bit of that, and you got some really good shooters around him, especially in CJ and Bi. I think it's fucking over for the league. It's over.
I'm still saying pretenders just because of Zion.
And even if they win, if they don't win this year, they're winning next year or the year after, without question.
Because Zion is so dynamic.
And
It's
well,
so
okay,
dynamic.
Zion's not healthy, then no. But if Zion's able to play,
We're going in.
we'll give him 60 games. They're gonna. That's that, and I'm just confident that they'll be able to do.
I think
I think their defense will adjust to not be abysmal,
Troy
and
Murphy's
their
going to take a job.
offense is going to be the best in the league.
Troy Murphy's going to take a job. If Zion becomes a good to great playmaker out the mid post and low post, it's over because he's going to
No,
demand.
no, no,
He's
no.
going to demand.
He done for.
He's going to demand a double because he's
Mm-hmm.
shitting on anybody who's not 225. If you're not 225 or bigger, he's shitting on your post defender.
And not only that, even if they're bigger than that, he's a much He's much more agile and he's much faster.
And
So
he
the
can move
second
it, yeah.
he's downhill, it's over for
And he
you.
can move his body better than any. You
Yeah.
put Draymond on him, I think Zion is going to kill Draymond. Like,
I wouldn't say kill because I actually think that's like probably the best matchup in the league on him. But even then, Draymond's too.
I've
I
seen
mean, Jaren Jackson would foul out in 2 seconds.
I've seen Giannis
Um,
struggle with Zion,
Giannis would. Yeah, Giannis is the best matchup, but he would
and
struggle.
he struggled. Like he would
Mhm.
kill Draymond, and I love Draymond to death. Zion, like Zion, is something that I haven't seen, and I can't wait to
No
see it.
one's seen it.
And
Me too.
I can't wait to
I've
see it.
not seen enough of him, but I'm excited.
Um,
You good?
I
So yeah,
think we're
I have
good.
them as a contender.
I have him as a
I do
contender.
think they're a contender.
Just give me another
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Next we got Memphis, who I'm just gonna say flat out, I've got them like between A and B, but I'm gonna lean toward B tier.
Go ahead, talk about it.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I
So,
think they are gonna miss D'Anthony Melton. Yes, they re-signed Tyus Jones. Slow Mo is gone. I don't know. They've just lost some depth pieces, and I still think maybe one more year. Ja's gonna be really good. So is Desmond Bain. I just think they need to find someone who's gonna take shots that's not Dylan fucking Brooks. As good as a defender as he is, you cannot. I don't think there's a way you can have him. You can win a chip with him taking 12 shots a game. I just
well,
don't think there's a way.
I have a Memphis fan. I have a Memphis fan, and he's a friend too. He does not like Dylan Brooks at all. He said Dylan Brooks will take 13 3-pointers and think the 14th one will fall in. Like,
Yeah, no,
duh.
that's the problem. Like he takes too many shots, and as good as Ja is, and I think he'll really solidify himself as a top 10 player in the league. I don't think. Hmm, you've only really lost guys. Not like it's bad. Jaren Jackson, I think, will not get in. I think he'll still foul out a fuck ton, but I don't think he'll have the foul trouble problems that he's had last season and years before.
All
It
right.
won't be as bad. And I think his 3-point shooting should improve a bit because it did fall off a bit last season.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good versatile defender. He's an all defense player, all defense caliber. Um, but I just think give him maybe 1 or 2 more years. Maybe wait for Zaire Williams to really start to not break out, but like
Grow into his.
grow into his potential a bit more.
For me, for Memphis, pretenders,
Okay.
pretenders,
Yeah.
and I say this. I want to put the Trey Young is better than John Morant. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I want to put that out there. John Morant, he has to resemble something of a jump shot from the 3-point line for me to say they're going to be contenders.
And
Because
he's
Ja,
shown flashes of it.
right,
He wasn't a bad 3-point shooter last year, but it's not like improve it a bit more. And then I think he's got to take a little bit of defensive stride,
a
like
little
some
bit,
defensive
a
stride,
little bit.
more than a little. But it's not like
He's
he
piss
has to
poor.
be in.
He's piss poor on defense.
Okay. Oh wait, no. For them to win a chip next year, he's got to become. He's got to take some
League
big strides
average.
on defense.
League
Yeah,
average.
he's got to. Yeah, for them to win a chip. But I think for future reference, I don't think he's got to get that much better on defense because I think you can still build around that. You got Steven Adams. For them to win a chip, for him to win a chip in general, come on,
League
as the
average.
best player on the team. Ideally,
Steph Curry is the best player on the team, and he's league average.
yeah. And
Exactly.
he's won 4 chips.
Yes. And
Yeah,
he's okay. Take the one, and people are like, why you bring up Steph? Because Steph was never known as a good defender, but he became league average this season, and you see how
Yeah,
much that helped out this season.
yeah,
So league
because
average.
teams would miss it. Yeah, because I'm sorry, teams would mismatch on Tim until there's 8 seconds left on the shot clock, and then they're like, "Oh shit,
I gotta
he's
force some
not
shit
good.
up.
He's not bad enough of a defender to waste 2/3 of the shot clock on that."
Exactly. So,
Yeah,
John, league average. You have the athleticism, be league average. Another thing is Jaren Jackson, you're missing him for a lot of big chunk of the season. I want to see what happens in that 4 spot. Um, Dylan Brooks will have to be more efficient. Desmond Bain
he's
is
more efficient or just not take fucking
more
15
efficient,
shots a game.
because nobody else is going to take those shots. I don't want Desmond Bain taking 20 shots. And Desmond Bain
I
is
do.
efficient as hell. Yeah, exactly. Desmond Bain is efficient as hell, but I don't want to put that much offensive flow on Desmond Bain.
That's fair. Yeah, maybe not 20 shots. That's a bit much. But I want to see him start to create more for himself, at least try to during the regular season.
Mm-hmm. I need Desmond.
And I want to see if
Yeah.
he's able to do that because
I
he showed
need
some flashes of it.
Yeah, Desmond Bain needs to be more of a shot creator than a catch and shoot guy. Because when he's a shot creator and a catch and shoot guy, he could be something
It's
dangerous. He could be dangerous.
he's already dangerous. You add that, you add like a better shot creating ability. He's gonna be real.
He's
That's gonna be
torture.
one of the best backcourts in the league.
Dylan Brooks just
It
needs to
already
be.
is.
You know what? Dylan Brooks' efficiency and shot selection needs to be better. If that
Mm,
gets
yeah,
better, a lot of things can change. But another thing I feel like, and this is my last thing about them not being contenders, they lost a lot of veteran leadership, as in
yeah.
like
They lost Kyle
Kyle
Anderson.
Anderson was a
That was the
good
big one they
player.
lost.
He was a good jack of all trades type player, and he was a vet.
Mhm.
So that's a big
I
loss.
think they're gonna miss him a bit, but I think they're hoping Zaire Williams can start to fill that role a bit. Not like the leadership role, but the
Right.
play role.
Yeah. And he can
And
because he's
Steven
already a good
Adams is a
three-point shooter.
veteran. Steven Adams, I feel like, has been in the league for a million years, but he hasn't been.
I know, right? Aquaman.
Yeah, feels weird. Anyway, I think we're both on the same page next year.
Yeah. 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 Next year they'll be contenders. And
They should be.
our last team in
Yep,
that.
last one, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who made one of the most laughable, probably the most laughable trade of the of the summer. Which, as much as I don't think it's not a good trade, and you overpaid to hell and back.
Go ahead. You
I
already spent.
I still don't hate the fit. I don't like Cat at the 4 too much, but I think he'll be able to settle into that throughout the season. D'Angelo Russell has become a not a better defensive leader. Um, Anthony Edwards, I think it's gonna make a really big jump, All NBA, All Star jump. Who the fuck is their 3? I think they're gonna start doing Kyle Anderson or
No, in the
Jaden
center, Jaden
McDaniels.
McDaniels. I love Jaden
Yeah,
McDaniels.
me too. I'm excited for that. Kyle Anderson, once again, just kind of Swiss Army knife player. And then of course Cat and Gobert.
Um,
That's interesting.
there's pretenders.
Because I just think the rest of the league has too much quality. The rest of the conference has too much quality.
You know
They're
what they're
going to
trying
be
to
a good
do?
offense.
You know what they're trying to do in a smaller version
What?
of it? They're trying to do what Cleveland did and bring 2 bigs. One who's of like a good to elite defender as a rim protector and a lob threat. Um, and then one who can do a little bit of everything. Because Evan Mobley can do a little bit of everything at a good level for right now, whatever
Yeah,
Mobley
but
is.
Evan Mobley's a much more versatile defender than Cat.
And Cat is a
But
way better 3-point
Cat
shooter,
is a
floor
way
spacer,
better offensive player.
just floor spacer. And then like Anthony, and then yeah, and then Anthony Edwards, and like they're trying to do like a broke like their version of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Bring 2 bigs out. We're gonna play 2 bigs. Our guard is gonna do basically all the work. So instead of going to be Darius Garland, in their case, it's going to be Anthony Edwards
Anthony Edwards.
and connectors
And
just like D'Angelo Russell.
I'm hoping that they give more, like, Anthony Edwards is able to take the wheel. I think we all agree that that's what should happen, and that's probably what will happen.
Yes.
I'm just intrigued. They're going to be. I'm going to watch a lot of them at the start of the year just because they've got. I'm
That league
really
back.
interested to see how that front court looks. I'm really interested in that.
I'll say this: in playoff time, they're going to get torched by every lineup, like every
Pretty much.
Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, Lakers.
No, they could also torch a lot of lineups.
No, they can't.
I say it a lot now.
They can only torch like 3 lineups in the West.
Let me go through contenders. Clippers, they can't. Golden State, they could. On
No.
offense.
No.
Okay.
Rudy Gobert is going to get played off the floor. Then you're just going to have Cat at the 5 again.
Played off the floor. I'm saying they can not torch. I'm saying on offense.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying on offense, my dude.
My fault.
Golden State, they can. Clippers, no. Golden State, they'll be able. You got 2 7-footers.
Yep.
Okay, against Draymond probably starting at center. Come on. They could do Kevon Looney, but even then he's 6'9". Denver is interesting, but
Jokic and Aaron Gordon, I'll take them over.
Phoenix, I think that's good. A good matchup on their end for them on offense.
Yeah. Okay.
Cam Johnson or Jay Crowder.
That's the 2 I agree with. Okay.
Mavs would probably do McGee and Christian Wood.
They break even for me.
Yeah. Pelican. I don't fucking know what would happen with the Pelicans.
Zion is dogging both players.
Oh yeah, Zion he's dogging the entire league.
Owning.
Grizzlies absolutely a fuck up. That's like the worst possible lineup.
Yeah, because Steven
That's one of the worst possible teams. Yeah, that's done.
Even the Lakers, AD and Thomas Bryant, no, they're not doing anything. They use AD and Thomas Bryant.
Well, the thing is, AD and Thomas Bryant, neither of them are. Oh, that'd be. God, that's awful from the Lakers.
But
AD, Thomas Bryant.
Okay. LeBron
Russ
and AD
on the floor. Yeah.
LeBron and
I'm
AD.
just thinking. Well, apparently they are going to play AD at the 4 and Thomas Bryant at the 5. I hate that we're going back to the Lakers because everyone talks about them. But apparently they're going to do AD at the 4 and Thomas Bryant at the 5. Start Russ. That is literal spacing hell.
Right. So,
oh my God.
Minnesota got what? 3, maybe 2 teams. I can confidently say I still don't agree with the Warriors though. Because I like Kevon Looney and Draymond defensive ability.
Okay. I think they'll just outsize them there. Okay. But no, I think they're second round next. So
yeah, because they'll get played off.
And Anthony, because I just don't like that they made that Gobert trade. As much as it elevates their defense, which was a big problem for them last year.
You know who would be great right now? If they just went for Miles Turner.
Ooh.
Then that's a different story.
Because at least he provides some floor spacing.
He provides floor spacing, and Cat still can be a low post offensive player, and then your rim protector is coming from Miles Turner. Miles Turner is a good rim protector. So, yeah, at that point, I would have them be certain teams in the West.
I would have rather, that would have been a much better trade.
A lot better.
And I still want the Bulls to trade for Miles Turner.
I do not want the Bulls to trade for Miles Turner because they're in the Pistons Sentinel division, so I don't need to deal with that. No, we don't.
Well, for the Bulls' sake, I'd want them to do it. I don't want them to do it, but I would want the Bulls.
Who's in y'all division?
I think that'd be.
Who is in y'all division?
Philly, Philly, Washington, us, New York,
I got
Brooklyn.
the easiest fucking division ever.
It doesn't matter. It's conference.
I know. You just got to eat. I want Brooklyn to trade after.
Oh yeah,
Miles
that'd
Turner.
be
Then just so
both
y'all
on
can go
that.
so y'all can have shitters in the Celtics division.
Fuck you,
Anyways,
still beat them.
no, y'all
Still
wouldn't.
Celtics in 4. This is the only time. Nah, not actually. I'm fucking around. I don't.
He meant that with all his heart when he said.
No, I don't.
Or
No, I
he
did
said,
not.
"Fuck KD." He said he didn't want to come to Boston. And fuck
KD's
him.
getting locked again. I didn't want him in Boston.
Shut up. Yes, you did. I love when I
Yeah, for
spread false
trading only
information.
Derek White.
I like when I spread false information on the internet.
Yeah.
But that was our contenders and
Anyway,
pretenders of the Eastern,
yeah,
the
that
Western
was a
Conference.
lot. I think that went really long.
It
I
went
didn't
long, but it
see
was
the
fun for
start
me.
time, but it was fun. Yeah,
It was fun. What 12:45 was the start time? An hour, and went an hour.
Oh, it was 12:45 start time
12:45.
for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was worse than that.
Nope.
I thought it was earlier than that. But yeah. Anyway,
That's that.
shit. Yeah. Once again, thank you for listening. Not once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Close this
If we
out,
said your
Alex.
team, once again, if we said your team wasn't a contender, it's because you're a fan of them, and we specifically want to piss you off, and it's completely personal. But now, jokes aside, thank you for listening. If you made it all the way through, leave a like on YouTube, rate it 5 stars on Spotify, share it with your friends, whatever the hell you want to do.
And
You
we're
haven't
having
listened to part 1?
And we're having a fantasy basketball draft. Please DM Alex.
Yes.
I got a couple people who
DM.
are always trying to talk to Alex, but Alex, something's wrong with your DMs.
No. I have people in my DMs right now, but they're not fucking like. I responded back, and they're not responding back to me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I got some people who want to be a part of the league.
Hey, give me their at. Give me their at.
I got you. But yeah, bro. I'm about to dog
anyway,
y'all.
Yeah. I'm bad. But yeah, we're follow us on Twitter. Daniels of the Boss 313, that one fan _13. And that's all, yeah.
That's it.
Peace
I think
out.
he did pretty good, y'all. I think, hey, yo, chat. I think he did pretty good, chat. Hey, yo, but thank you for listening for another episode of the GTR podcast.
Thank y'all for listening.
I'm your host, and this is my co-host, Alex. And we're out, bro.
Peace out.
We're out.